It's Wiggin Weekend. It's Wiggin Weekend. You wanna win? Come Wiggin Weekend. It's Wiggin Weekend. It's Wiggin Weekend. You wanna win? Come Wiggin Weekend.
Wiggin Weekend. Deputy Warden Galont Spazzes on Bill Feezzyy. At Valdosta State Prison, everybody knew two things for sure. Deputy Warden Galont was not really a deputy warden, but was in fact an inmate who probably had just as much as, if not more power than one of the real deputy wardens. But nobody dares say that out loud for fear that he'd get them locked up or shaken down.
That's right. They don't know who they fucking with.
Walter Galont wore the fake title like a bulletproof vest. His prison detail was administration clerk, which meant he had a special access badge on the compound and could go anywhere. Basically a chain gang driver's license and keys that opened doors other inmates didn't even know existed. He moved through the admin wing with a stiff walk and a smug grin, sipping burnt Free World coffee and staring just long enough to let you know he was taking mental notes. Everybody knew why he stayed untouched. Galont told everything. If an officer miscount, Galont told. If an inmate do wop and get an extra tray, Galont told. If he saw you in the dorm with a illegal cell phone, Galont told. And worse, he didn't discriminate. Bloods, Crips, GDs, Ghostface, Muslims, corrupt officers bringing in packs of contraband. He reported them all and dared every one of them to come fuck with him.
I'm King Kong in this bitch. Can't nobody fuck with me in here cause I'll tell Warden Cletus and he'll send his CERT team and tear these domes up. Won't be nair cell phone or cigarette left on the compound.
He was the kind of man who survived prison by becoming the prison's disease. Some called him debt, not out of respect, but out of fear. Because once Galont wrote your name down, it never came off paper. Now, on to the inmate that worked up in administration with snitching ass Galont. You may know Bill Feezzyy from his Georgia prison YouTube channel, but back during his prison days, he was known on the compound as C-Bill. He had survived 9 years in the Georgia Department of Corrections and barely struggled because he was fired with his hustle skills. He was part of the Gangster Disciples organization and even held rank in that thing. He was in there for armed robbery, so his paperwork was clean and gangster. He liked to joke around a lot, but he was smarter than he looked, quieter than he needed to be, and despite being a gangster, he really was a cool-ass nigga. He worked up in administration with Galont and low-key despised the old nigga like everybody else did. But unlike most other inmates, he pretended like he was cool with the old rat, always keeping it cordial with him, adopting the saying, keep your enemies close. Like I said, C-Bill was a hustler and loved creating his own economy in every dorm he went in. He kept some phones, Al Green and of course Chris Brown, the smoking cell, strips, pills, cream, whatever could be moved quietly. C-Bill moved it cleaner than any nigga on the compound due to having that administration detail. He wasn't too flashy, but did stay clean. He didn't brag, cause niggas in the dorm would start hating, even his own brothers. He just fed the machine so it wouldn't turn on him and chew his ass up. Everything was going cool until a severe drought hit one spring. Both of the officers that was bringing him shit had quit the job after witnessing a war between the Muslims and the Bloods. Niggas got rusty ice pick style bangers stuck in their eye sockets, and Ak even had a machete sliced across the front part of his neck, severing his artery. Blood squirted out like a water hose spraying one of C-Bill's girls who was trying to get away from the madness after calling the code several times. She was a short, dark-skinned young girl who was grossly obese and couldn't get out of the way quick enough and got the Muslim nigga's blood all in her face and mouth because she kept screaming. The fucked up thing is that inmate was documented as having HIV, so she may have gotten it if she swallowed his blood. The camp was locked down for 60 days and the tax squad and wiped niggas' noses clean. No phones, no more smoke, nothing. The officers tightened up too. A new warden came in on the bullshit. New scanners, packs disappearing before they ever touched the fence. Money dried up quick. Favors got called in, and for the first time since he'd been down, C. Bill was hurting. The camp was forced to be patient, but patience has a limit. Then finally, after the 2-month drought, a window opened. A maintenance worker was able to secure a mule, his boss who needed some extra money to remodel his 4-bedroom house. He told the inmate he started bringing in some stuff for him for a hefty price. The maintenance inmate went back to the dorm and let C. Bill know because he had done business with him in the past and knew he kept a little money in his Cash App. Feezzyy told him hell yeah, he'd give him $1,000 to get a pack in, and that moment marked the end of the drought. That next week, C. Bill got his first pack. 5 phones, 2 zips of gas, 3 cans of the Chris Brown, and the maintenance boss even threw in some backwoods and extra rolling papers. Feezzyy was back in business and immediately opened the trap back up. Niggas on the compound were able to breathe again, or so they thought. The little white boy maintenance worker that was hooking C. Bill up fucked it all up by getting too suited and booted with a sack of cream that he himself had separately gotten from his boss. The dope caused him to start wigging and talking louder than a person normally does when they sober. He just so happened to be in the cell right next to Galont's, and anybody that done been in the chain gang know you can hear people talking in the cell next to yours through the air vents above the toilet or in back of the cell. The white boy was lit, talking about the next pack he gonna bring C. Bill and what all was in it. Galont, who was laying in his quiet cell, could hear everything through the vents. Galont didn't confront C. Bill, didn't threaten, didn't warn. He smiled as he slowly drifted off to sleep. That next morning after first rotation was called, the CERT team swarmed the dorm. Everybody locked down, they yelled as they came through the door. They even brought in search dogs.
What you waiting on? Y'all go ahead and hit them like and subscribe buttons for this channel before I snitch and tell on y'all out there in the free world. Then your ass gonna be in here with me and the booty bullies is gonna squeeze they Oscar Mayer wieners up in your Walmart great value hamburger buns. Can you say ouch?
C. Bill's cell was ransacked, and even though he had a good hiding spot, they still found a ton of work he was holding. He was locked up in administration and walked out in front of everyone and sent straight to the hole. C. Bill didn't yell, didn't beg, barely even looked at Galont, who was grinning when they crossed paths. But Galont noticed something that bothered him. C. Bill grinned back. The hole in the chain gang didn't break men fast. It broke them slow. C. Bill spent his first month counting cracks in the wall and listening to toilets flush like distant gunshots. The light stayed on all the time, even at night. The food slid through the slot cold as hell. Nights bled into mornings without notice, and some of the pussy-ass officers was too lazy to run showers, and the 1 hour of yard call that inmates in the hole was supposed to get. The hole also stripped distractions. And when distractions were gone, thinking got sharp. By day 41, C. Bill wasn't angry no more. Anger wasted brain cells. When the trays came, which nurses lingered, which rushed. Most importantly, he thought about getting Galont rat-ass back. Galont had always believed himself untouchable because he told on everyone. That was his mistake. A man who tells on everybody forgets one truth. Eventually, everybody gon' want him gone. By day 50, C. Bill had finally decided to put a lil bag on Galont's top after wrestling with himself on whether he should do it or not. He always tried to be diplomatic, but the warden came through for inspection that day and told him he was going to drag his ass back there another 60 days to make an example out of him. Feezzyy could barely take it anymore, being locked in a 6x9 cell with various different niggas, some overweight who farted all day in which he had to smell, some fidgety due to claustrophobia. He was just tired of being back there and wanted to get out. He sent a kite to some of his GD bros letting him know he had $500 in his Cash App for anybody who went and handled Galont, and 2 YNs quickly said, hell yeah, they put in that work because they ain't like the old ass nigga anyway. Galont loved routine. Same seat, same Keefy coffee mug, same burnt coffee from the admin machine. He liked how it made him feel official, like a man who mattered. That same night, Feezzyy sent the half of a band to the young GD bros. They implemented their plan. Feezzyy sent them a kite detailing how he wanted it done, because if he just would have told them to go pull Galont out, he would have known it was retaliation. Feezzyy was smarter than that. Instead, he told them to lace the niggas' coffee with some cream, and I ain't talking about no French. Vanilla International Delight from Walmart. I'm talking about that white stuff. Meth. Galont was sitting in the TV room looking at the news and didn't notice the two young niggas eyeing him from by the wall phones. He thought he'd won. After a few minutes, the urge got the best of him and he hopped up to go drain his weasel, leaving his mug of coffee and glasses in his favorite chair. This was the moment the GDs was waiting on. As Galont went in his room and closed the door to piss, they slipped into the TV room and pulled out 2 grams of the cream, sprinkling it in his fresh coffee, one of them even burning his index finger as he swirled it inside the mug, trying to mix the dope in with the coffee real good. The substance wasn't poison to those who did it regularly, but to Galont, who had never done meth before, it may as well have been cyanide. The king snitch returned to his seat to resume watching the news a few minutes later. Galont took his first sip of the deadly creamy Joe while laughing at something only he found funny. An African-American 18-year-old was unalived in the middle of burglarizing an elderly white couple's home when they arrived home early from a doctor's appointment, and the 72-year-old husband drew down on him with his .357 revolver.
That's what his black ass get for breaking in them good white folks' residence like that. They need to go unalive his mammy too for having his ass.
10 minutes after drinking half of the 32-ounce mug, Galont's hand started shaking. 20 minutes after that, the room felt like it was bending inward on his old ass. 30 minutes later, Galont stood up screaming that the walls were breathing and finna bite him. Galont started panicking and wigging out. He started yelling about 6-foot cockroaches under his bottom bunk.
I need some bug spray. It's a 6-foot-inch cockroach up under my bunk, y'all.
He accused officers in the perimeter towers of plotting to assassinate him like Martin Luther King. He began ripping his clothes off and throwing them on the floor as inmates in the dorm started cussing his ass out about stripping nude around them.
Man, fuck y'all inmates. It's 100 degrees in here.
Galont yelled out something about a bomb finna go off on the bottom range and bolted upstairs to the top range, straight up the stairs to the second floor like he was chasing something only he could see. People later argued whether he jumped or slipped. It didn't matter. From the top rail, Galont yelled one last thing, something about being watched, then his feet left the concrete. The flip wasn't clean as some shit you see in an Olympics gymnastic event, but it was real. He landed back first on a steel table, shattering 3 vertebrae instantly in the process. The whole dorm broke out in laughter at finally seeing something bad happen to their arch nemesis. That fuck nigga done got on the cream, now he wigging out. Staff rushed Galont out on a stretcher, body twisted in ways body shouldn't twist. He survived, but Galont never walked right again. The official report said medical episode. Unofficially, Valdosta learned something important. Snitching keeps you alive until it doesn't. C. Bill went back to his job a month and a half later after finally getting out of the hole. Galont survived, but survival wasn't mercy. He woke up half numb, bladder gone, back fused with metal. No power, no protection. He got transferred to a medical dorm in another facility where nobody knew his old role. Only his reputation, which leads me to say this to y'all young niggas. If you don't want to be forced to live around a nigga that'll tell on you about any little thing, then don't go to the chain gang where you gotta hide and sneak around to smoke cigarettes and use a cell phone. It ain't fun at all, my nigga.
It's Wiggin Weekend. It's Wiggin Weekend. You wanna wig? Come Wiggin Weekend. It's Wiggin Weekend. It's Wiggin Weekend. You wanna wig?